read while eating like me. I know they say not to do that. Who's they anyway?
Yesterday I lost a battle.
Hello there. I recently bought a Kindle. Look how cute. I think it's the like Kindle Paperwhite, but not the brand new one. But it's so cute and tiny. I love it. And so while I've always been a huge reader, I read at nighttime in bed. I read while I eat. I read on the couch. I read everywhere. I even bring books with me when I go to like my kids' appointments and that kind of stuff. I always bring books. And this literally fits in the pocket of my little purse. Like it's so fun and so nice. But it's like, you know, it's slippery and it's small. And I know you can buy cases and like elastic handle things almost. But, you know, you just get, it's kind of awkward to hold, more awkward than a book. Or maybe I have just trained my muscles to only hold a book and now this feels weird. But anyway, so what I did was I made a, what they call a Kindle Plop. So it sits here. It can sit on my stomach while I read in bed. It can sit on the table while I read and eat. And it is so useful. It looks kind of weird, but it's super handy. So both of my girls saw it and they're like, ooh, I can watch YouTube on my phone in my bed if you make me one. So I made a couple more. And while I was at it, I perfected the process. I did a couple of different methods that I saw around the internet, and then I adapted the sizing and the process to what I thought was the simplest. And I'm about to make a tutorial for you. But also I made a printable version of this tutorial. So when your kids and your friends ask you for one, you don't have to watch the video all over again. You can just refer to your online version. So you can go get that in my shop. I'll put the little link below. So here's what I've made so far. I made this one. This is Pride and Prejudice fabric, which is perfect, reader themed. And then Natalie picked this one, this fabric. Layla picked this fabric. So let's get started. This only takes a few minutes, I promise. Okay, so I cut out my pattern piece already. You need to cut out a piece that is 9 inches by 12 inches. So you don't need the printable version of this, but to make this, I'll try to include the measurements. There's only 2 pieces, but the printable version has pattern pieces for you just to make it even easier. Okay, so you need a 9 by 12 piece of fabric. If you're using a print that's directional, like it has like, you know, a pattern on it, you want it to be reading this way so that lengthwise your pattern is straight up. Does that make sense? How do you explain that? So then also you need a little piece of this really sturdy interfacing. If you don't have this, you can sort of get creative. I think you could probably use cardboard as long as you don't ever want to get this wet. Not like corrugated, but I would use like thin. Something that you can sew through, like cereal box cardboard, you know? Otherwise, like maybe a really sturdy piece of canvas or denim, or a doubled over piece of canvas or denim. But it never hurts actually to have Peltex on hand. It's really useful. I use it for coffee sleeves, one of my most popular projects. And I just think it's worth having a yard of it laying around, because you never know when you're gonna want to make a Kindle Plop, right? Okay, so this is all that you need. Oh, also, you can use either rice or these stuffing pellets. I'll link you to these. For a long time, these were really hard to find other than like giant amounts of it. But now on Amazon, you can get this little craft size. The reason I like these way better is because they weigh a lot less. So they give it the heft it needs without being heavy. And then a little optional scrap of like twill tape or grosgrain ribbon. Okay, so first step is to fold it in half, hamburger style. And I'm going to press a crease right here because I'm going to need that later. Okay, now I'm going to stitch this side and this bottom, but I'm going to mark 1 3/4 inch up from the bottom edge, and that I'm going to leave open. There's a pattern, there's a marking on the pattern piece. And then I'm also gonna sew across the bottom. So I'm sewing this side except for this, and I'm sewing all the way across the bottom. Okay. Oops, I have threadies. So now I'm going to open up the top part. I'm going to bring that crease I made to meet the seam in the back. I'm gonna open up the seam, finger press the edges, and I'm going to pin this seam. And this time I'm going to leave an opening. Oh my gosh, Natalie just got home. She sings when she walks in the door. And I'm going to sew, but I'm gonna leave a few inches open right here on the left. So my seam is at the back, leaving my opening on the left. Hi.
Sorry.
sorry. No, you're fine.
I got a free drink at 7 Brew.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now it looks like this, like a potato chip bag that's sealed improperly at the top. Okay, so I'm going to reach through the opening in the top and turn her right side out. I also forgot to say that you need stuffing. Kind of think that was a given maybe, but sorry, my bad. Okay, I'm going to use my little turning tool or a chopstick to poke the corners out gently. Forgot that one doesn't have a corner. And now you have this. So the bottom edge, the one where I left the opening on the side, I'm going to flatten out and press the best I can. I'm going to flatten out the bottom, the side, the one with the opening, remember, on the side, not the opening on the top. I'm going to get a ruler and my heat-soluble pen or Fix-On pen or whatever marking tool you like. I'm going to mark 3 inches up from the bottom. And then I'm going to take my 1 1/4 by 1 3/4 by 5 3/4, 1 1/4 by 5 3/4. Sometimes I forget to say measurements and then I get tons of comments, so now you know. Okay, I'm going to put it through the opening in the top that I left because it's a little bit bigger. Going to finagle it all the way down so that the edge of it, the top edge of it is along this line that I made. Takes a little finagling. Okay, flatten it out. Make sure that it's pretty straight along the line. And now I'm going to go top stitch all the way around it, about 1/8 of an inch on it, so it will be stitched down. If you have trouble with this, you can mark it before you go, but I find that when I'm over there sewing, the ridge I can pretty visibly see and feel with my fingers. So I'm gonna go top stitch all the way around my Peltex piece. Okay, so my top stitching looks like this, if you can see. Let me go heat erase with my iron my pen mark. All right, so now we have this. Now we're going to put stuffing in the bottom ridge that we left open. Hemostats are really helpful for stuffing things with small openings. I have said this so many times before. Hemostats for me are indispensable of a tool in my sewing room. Make sure I get it all the way to the end. We're gonna stuff this to maybe a medium degree. It doesn't need to be super duper full. The pillow needs to be somewhat pliable still so that the Kindle or phone doesn't just, like, you know, bounce right off it or fall over because it's too sturdy and too upright, if that makes sense. Tiny bit more. That might be too much. Okay, so now it's time to close up this hole. I like to just do this by machine. I'm going to turn the edges under and I'm just gonna go edge stitch this opening closed. It helps to either put a zipper foot on your machine or move your needle over. My needle moves all the way over to the left so that the presser foot's not in the way of the stuffing and I can just, but if you have trouble with that and have a hole, then just hand stitch it closed. That's fine too. Okay, I like to squish the stuffing around, get it all evenly distributed in there. And now we're going to fill up the top. So I use both pellets and stuffing for this. Some instructions I saw use only pellets or only rice, but I thought that made it kind of too heavy. Thought it was unnecessary. So I'm gonna use just under 1 cup of pellets. If using pellets, I measured it to about 5 ounces. I don't know the measurement of rice, but still I would just use 1 cup. And then if you need a funnel, I'm gonna just funnel her right in there. Okay, so I'm gonna shake that all the way to the bottom, and then I can just sit my plop right here and start stuffing on top of the pellets, again to like a medium fullness of stuffing, making sure that I get some in that back corner. It's easy to sort of overlook it. So the stuffing prevents the pellets from sort of scattering all over the place. And now I'm ready to stitch the top closed. And I'm gonna add a piece of twill tape. This is optional, but it's cute and could be functional too. So I'm gonna cut a 3-inch piece of ribbon or twill tape. I have this cute measuring tape stuff I think Layla will like. Fold it in half, stick it into, first let me finger press my opening closed, put those raw edges inside, and then stick the twill tape in there, pin it closed, and once again I'm going to sew mine on the machine, but sewing it by hand is an option also. And you're done. See how easy and fast that was? These are so cute and so fun. I cannot believe what a difference it has made in trying to hold and read my Kindle. I can read hands-free now. Also, the benefit to the pellets is that if you read while eating, like me, I know they say not to do that. Who's they anyway? Then you can wash it Whereas with rice can't get wet. So you would have to probably open it up and replace the rice if it got wet or if you needed to clean it. So I hope you have enjoyed this. If you make some, let me know. I want to see them for sure. And don't forget, I'll put the link to the printable version of this right down there in the comments, and to this too. Yeah, and then I'll see you soon. Next week, I'm going to film. Oh, hi, Natalie. This quilt is for Natalie.
It's me!
The issue I'm having is that this is a, oh my gosh, dancer cord. Okay. This is a throw size pattern. It's called Top Knot, and I need to make it full size. So I have a plan, and I'm going to show you next week. Bye.